Okay, so the book that I got or that I chose to do is a PDF version. It's called Chocolate Milk Por Favor. It's by Maria Dismondi. Um, I really like this book. It teaches diversity through empathy. Um, this book is pretty long, so I'm gonna read the first page. The first page says Johnny was walking into school when he first saw the new kid. What a baby, he thought, as the boy cried and held his mother's hand. She whispered something to him. Words that sounded different to Johnny. Delicioso. The boy smacked his lips as his mother handed him a chocolate milk. I just feel like this really set the pace for the book because um, this book, Johnny, he pretty much didn't talk to this kid Gabe just because Gabe was different. Gabe came to a new school, not knowing a lot of English, for one, and Gabe pretty much just didn't talk to him just because he seen that he was different. And going through the book, it just shows like different times where Gabe just didn't help out. He was paired with Gabe was paired with Johnny, and then Johnny pretty much just took his book and just held it up against his chest so that Gabe couldn't see. And even when they were out on recess, he never really talked to him. There was one day where Gabe actually, because Johnny really loves to play soccer, and Gabe's really good at it. So Gabe had the soccer ball and he did this cool new move, and like Johnny had no idea how to do it. He said he's practiced it so many times, but he just never figured out how to do it. And so after that, it pretty much got worse. He just really didn't like Gabe, and and then there was one day where Gabe actually went up, and then he just started talking to Johnny, and he showed him the new move, and then he taught it to him, and Johnny finally got it after practicing it a couple times, and then he was so happy. That was pretty much like the best day he ever had. Going through the rest of the book, he's just pretty much more helpful with Gabe, helping him to be able to just feel more at home in his new school, to be able to feel wanted. And then I really like how the book ended because it ended with Johnny giving Gabe a chocolate milk, which was what his mom gave him at the beginning of the story, and it showed that it was just a way for Gabe to be able to calm down because at the beginning of the story, he was really upset because he didn't want to go to a new school and start over. And I feel like at the end, um, with Johnny giving Gabe the chocolate milk, it pretty much just showed how he was telling him that he was there for him, just like his mom was. And I just that's why I really just love this story, because it really shows how you should be empathetic in different situations, and how kids can be sympathetic, also. Um, this book it teaches students to be like I said, teaches students to be empathetic towards others, uh, no matter what they're going through, and it informs the students that everyone is different and comes from different places, but at the same time you shouldn't judge them because of where they come from, or you shouldn't not want to talk to them just because they come from somewhere different than you come from. And I feel like that's really important, and that's really a really important aspect of this book. Um, One of the activities that I found it online, I think that it's really good. It's pretty much just says celebrating you, what makes you different, and it's just for students to go through, and they can just type in. I mean, no, not type in, but they write in everything that just makes them different, that makes them unique, different things about them, and I feel like that's really a time for students to be able to self reflect also. So I think that that would be really good for students this age, because a lot of other things like they're not gonna understand. Like you can go through and do like a plot setting type format. I mean they'll learn from it, but at the same time I feel like this activity would be more fun than them just having to go through and pick out the plot setting and all that in a book. Um, so yeah, that's my book, and then I really like that it actually had discussion questions in it, um, before reading the book, during reading, after reading, and then more learning. It just pretty much It's pretty much a guide, and I feel like that's really helpful with that too.